having, oh, there we are.
Oh, there we are. We're live.
We're
Hi
live,
there.
just
Good
like
morning.
that. Hey,
Just
Kevin,
like
how's it
that. Just
going?
like that.
Yeah.
It's going well. Although I won't spare. I'll spare everybody the details of my day and getting up to New Jersey and leaving my laptop in Maryland. But that's for another day. Um, well, thanks for joining me here. It's a big day.
It is a huge day. I'm honored that you asked. So there's a lot of exciting things to talk
Yeah.
about today.
Yes, and so we'll get into it. And I'll kind of set the stage for this platform that we've released. When at first, I guess to thank everybody that's been along the ride with us, during this journey of building out this concept of channel program, and really early on we use these big words like revolutionize and democratize and fragmentation and all the challenges that are associated with this ridiculously large and fragmented marketplace. And we set out a couple, 18 months ago, 20 months ago, 24 months ago, something like that, to you know to make a dent, and kind of do what we could do to smooth out some of that fragmentation. um, just by quick background. So I've had a really interesting bird's eye view of this marketplace, a couple different I guess views. Built an IT consulting firm, a large one in the DC area, and exited that. Built arguably the fastest growing cybersecurity company in the channel and exited that. And then I ran corp dev and go to market at the largest platform in this marketplace as well. So I've had a really unique perspective on some of the challenges and the fragmentation in this marketplace. And that's one of the reasons why we went down this path of building out channel program, and trying to make just trying to make it easier for both sides of the marketplace, the IT service provider, the MSP, and the vendor. And if we could build a home or a platform that allows them to engage more effectively, again, smooth out those edges, then we've done our part in this $2 trillion marketplace. Um, so as I mentioned, right, it's a
Hmm.
fragmented, complex marketplace, and we started this platform. I guess we launched 18 months ago, 19 months ago, and launched with this idea of engage or channel pitch, where MSPs log in anonymously because we want to respect everybody's privacy, but they log in anonymously, they see these presentations, and they decide whether they want to engage in the vendors. And along the way, they've provided some really amazing feedback on the vendors, their value proposition, and how they rank basically within the MSP stack. Then we started leaning into product reviews. We're well over 3,000 product reviews, and so we have a mountain of data that is really interesting. It's data that shows what the industry is looking for in their vendors and their products and their channel enablement programs. Um, and we'll be soon to publish some really interesting findings from those product reviews. But really, what ties everything together is what we've launched here, and platform we call NaviStack. And it was kind of one of these ideas where, well, we want to help the MSPs navigate their channel, better navigate their channel, and it's a journey. And so did a lot of work on trying to figuring out how to name it and position it. And Kelly's been absolutely instrumental in helping us kind of find our voice and our footing. And so publicly, thank you for all that you've done to help us here, over the last couple of months. But I don't know, shall we get into it?
Yes. Let's see a little bit about what NaviStack looks like and what it solves for.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna switch to. There we go. There's the infinite zoom. All right. So what we want this to be is a homepage destination for every MSP, right? We want an MSP to we want to have an impact on helping solve again a lot of this fragmentation. If you think about the average MSP's technology stack, they're working with, and now we're up to about 50, 52 different vendors that an MSP works with on a daily basis to deliver their services or support their technologies. And one of the big challenges with that is that they're having to log into 50, 52 different platforms or portals, partner
Hmm.
portals. and that's just how this industry has evolved. And the vendor would, as they started to scale, and we've experienced this with ideation as we started to, get going. Early days, it was really easy for us to communicate with our 20 or 30 partners, but we got the 400, 500. It was a challenge. We had to hire a really world-class enablement team, and then we had to go down the path of building out a portal and some of the feedback early on with that portal with ideation was that we love it, but we have to log into all these disparate portals for all the other tools that we use, and that was really kind of maybe the early seeds for this concept. Could we build something that would help eliminate that? So that's what happens, right? The vendors go out and they build these portals, or they go out and buy a PRM, which is a partner relationship management tool, and unfortunately, they only get a 10, maybe 15% utilization rate just because of that fact, right? Because the fact that MSP is so busy having to log into all these different portals that it's just, out of sight, out of mind, top of mind. And so one of the challenges that we set out to solve is that could we have an impact on that? Could we create the one portal, the one login where an MSP can go and interact, communicate, and grab all the enablement materials and technical documentation and training videos and all that stuff? Can we do that for an MSP with their entire stack? And that's where we are with NaviStack.
Right.
So I'll jump right in it here. Unless you have something that here, feel free to interject.
I think that there's a lot to break down with that because, it's a law of the universe that we're moving towards more chaos, and the complexity will find you in your business. You got to take the easy button wherever you can and simplify and stop logging into 50 tabs at once to get the same 4 materials from each vendor.
Yeah, I love how you described that, because again, I remember being on the MSP side, we were working with 70, 75 different technologies that we were representing or selling into the public sector, and it was just chaos. It was like bookmarks, tabs, single sign-on, multi, all this login issues, and it was just crazy. And so it's chaos. Chaos creates more chaos, right?
And forget about continuity too. Like, you have somebody new come on, how do you best show them all of your bookmarks and tabs?
This is a very good point. Yeah, I guess most people don't normally export their tabs from their Chrome extension and give it to their new hires. But yeah, that's you're exactly it. This is you're exactly right on solving for that complexity. All right, so this is logging in. So I've logged in. Very simplistic, right? Just log in here, sign up or log in to the platform, and when you land inside the platform, you land inside of NaviStack, right? And so we've put some we've already pre-populated with some vendors, but this is really the first visualization, and we'll iterate on this view, but this is the first visualization of an MSP or IT service provider stack. And what we've done, we've gone and pre-populated with some of these vendors in here, but we started with the 29 most common products across a couple key, main product categories: authentication, backup recovery, compliance, security management, monitoring, professional services. And so underneath of that, there are 29 key components. But at any time, if an MSP wants to go in and add another category, they just click this little plus button. And they can add their categories, right? Add the vendors and the products and the categories. So the stack, your stack is going to be different than your contemporaries or your competitors down the street or competitor across the country. Everyone's stack is different. That's what's really interesting. And as we progress and we get into more benchmarking and show you, what to build toward, I think that's going to be really valuable for the MSPs. But if I'm going in here and I want to add a vendor into, I don't know, let's MDR, right, for example. So it'll pop up my main category and then my MDR subcategory, and I can either type a vendor's name or I can type a product type or category, and it'll show me the vendors that are in the platform. And it's important to note that we have 400 plus vendors in this platform. We don't have every platform or or vendor or product in the platform. That's okay. If we don't have it, we have a nice little easy button. But so if we wanted to add an MDR solution from any one of these vendors, we'll just pick Blackpoint here for a second. We'll pick their product, and here we'll say I'm either a current partner or I'd just like more information. I'd like to add it to the stack, and I'd like to get more information on the solution. You have that option. And so, for this one, I'll just say I'm a current partner, click save, and it'll drop it into my stack, right? And so you'll see that there's progress being made on your stack, the percentage of your stack completeness based on those first 29 categories. All right, so again, really, really easy. In later version, we'll have this really slick drop and drag capability, but really easy to build out your stack and see maybe some of the product categories you see. I have multiple products within the stack. So again, we want to build this in a way where it's ridiculously simple, intuitive. And I mentioned, if you don't see a specific vendor, XYZ in the platform, don't worry. We have a little note here. It says I'll snap. I'll see your vendor or product. We are adding dozens and dozens of new vendors and products every month. So all you have to do is click here to request. It's almost like the easy button, and our team will get on it. We'll reach out to the vendor. We'll start adding their product to the platform. And it's important to note that, for the MSP, again, we're building a large, database of the products, and some of the inquiries that we've gotten over the last week since we've launched have been really surprising. Some of the vendors that are being requested are ones we've never heard of. Every day, we're probably seeing about a dozen and a half new vendors that we haven't heard of that the industry is using. So that just talks about just how large and of a marketplace is. I think Jay McBain suggests there's roughly 35,000 vendors within this marketplace that are selling or some type of form of channel program. So I think for a lot of folks, I think it's almost hard to comprehend how large of a marketplace this is, because oftentimes we're kind of running in the same kind of events or kind of bubbles or circles. But it's a ridiculously large marketplace. And so maybe one more thing to point out here is that on the platform, vendors, we have some paying vendors that are paying to utilize the PRM, and we'll get into it in a second. But then we have hundreds of non-paying vendors. And so the goal is to provide as much value, whether it's a paying vendor or not paying vendor, to access the portal. We want to provide as much value to the MSP. And so you'll see that along the way. So here I've added some vendors to my stack, right? If you got another visualization, if you click on View Stack, you'll see it broken down by category. Again, this is version 1.0, and so we'll come up with some really nifty. We got some really nifty designs coming down the pike. But you can see this is a printable version, but you can see what's in your stack, different vendors. And what's great is you can engage with your vendors within the platform. This is when we mentioned that we want to eliminate this sprawl. We want to eliminate the that complexity of logging into 30, 40, 50 different portals. You log into one and you can interact with your vendors in one. So we'll use our good friends over at SaaS Alerts as an example. So if I want to chat with my points of contact at SaaS Alerts, I could just drop in here and go ahead and pick somebody. Maybe I want to speak to somebody in marketing. So I'll go in here and just start chatting with Amy within the portal. So from a communication standpoint, we want to make things ridiculously easy for everybody. And so by allowing kind of this two-way chat, again, we're centralizing it and making it easier for different personas at the MSP. Could be the technician, could be the marketing person, could be a business owner that wants to interact with their vendors. And so we've created that home. And good news is that if you're a vendor or even MSP, you don't have to be logged in 24/7. If you do get a chat, you'll get an email notification about 5 minutes. If you don't respond in 5 minutes, you'll get an email that says, hey, MSP XYZ is trying to engage with you, and go ahead and log in. And so kind of built it in a way that it encourages that collaboration with the vendor. So that's communicating with it. But we also wanted to, again, provide all the tools and all the white label materials from the vendor inside of one portal. So again, we'll use our friends over here at SaaS Alerts. We go back the screen. So SaaS Alerts has done a phenomenal job of filling out their portal. They've added some white label documentation, so brandable content. They've added vendor documentation, some blogs, some training videos here down below. They've really done a bang up job on their portal. But if I'm going in here and I get an alert that SaaS Alerts just put in a new how we close the gaps in your Microsoft 365 security tool, maybe that's a document that I want to use as a piece of collateral or leave behind when I go to a customer. All you have to do is go in here and grab your logo, drop it in here, and try to make it, that easy, right? So we wanted to do things that were simple, intuitive, and that provided, the value that the channel looks for, right? When they're engaging with their vendors. And so you can save a copy, you can download it, you can email it out. We've got some integrations with social media for campaigns coming. So we'll build a little bit more complexity into this. But today, our mentality or mantra internally is we're going to focus 100% of our effort on the 20% of the PRM that's actually used, because these things are often over-engineered when the vendors go out and try to buy and implement these things. So we've done this in a way where it's standardized across every one of your vendors within the platform. So it doesn't matter if it's a SaaS Alerts or if you go into, Lumira's portal, everything is standardized. And it just makes it easier for the MSP to navigate and access these documents all from one single location. And then their documents are stored back into their saved documents area. And as you mentioned, right, if you have turnover at your MSP or IT service provider, or if you're onboarding somebody new, everything is centralized. So no more having to go out to SharePoint, no more Dropbox and this, that, and the other thing. We can centralize it for all of your vendors. And so version control, maybe tomorrow you sign up with a new vendor and you want everything organized and consolidated. That's what we've done.
And every person in your organization can get their own account and take advantage of all the features that are here.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is, think about this as it's a collaboration portal, not just in collaborating with the vendor, but it's collaborating with your colleagues internally as well. And, we know this from firsthand experience, right? Internally, like, where are our marketing documents? Where's the latest, demo deck? Where's the latest this, that, and the other thing? And so by centralizing this inside the portal, I think this would give, MSPs, really, to just, will help streamline that challenge. And we know that's a big challenge for a lot of MSPs. And now they have a home to organize all of their vendors.
And before you navigate away from this, we actually have a very timely question from Batman. Can a vendor be added that is outside of what is already available in NaviStack?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I mentioned if we go back to the stack, right? And we've got hundreds and hundreds of vendors in here, but say you're looking for vendor XYZ, right? And they don't show up. Just all you have to do is click here, hit that easy button, tell us the vendor name, vendor XYZ. And then if you know the name of the product, then, it's product 2, just hit request and, we get alerts and, we've got a team behind the scenes that will reach out to that vendor and start, pulling in their products into the platform. And so in the first, over the first week, we've had, I think it's close to 90, maybe 80, 85 unique vendors that weren't in the platform added, requested. And as I mentioned, our team is going out there and interacting with those vendors and saying, hey, get in here, because this is a revolution, right? You got to be a part of this because, again, they're making everybody's lives easier.
Well, and what I love about that is it means that the universe is constantly expanding and all of
Mhm.
these new potential solutions or new to use solutions are being added. So when it comes times for renewal, or when you're noticing that your stack isn't 100% and you want to change that, there'll be vendors in there that maybe you haven't considered before.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. I feel to call this out, but when you're looking at your stack, it's interesting. You'll see these scores here, right? And as you mentioned, these scores are coming from the industry. These are coming from your peers. Up on our site, and I should have had a tab open, but up on our site, we've got, let's see, open this tab here. We've got, over 3,000 product reviews, but you can go in, and if you're, researching I'll pick any one of these. Let's pick up a cloud backup company. You can just navigate to our stack charts, and you can see, based on, again, these are all from the industry. You can see where the industry has scored these particular cloud backup vendors, right? And so you can go down and see the reviews through these vendors, how many reviews they have, what their score is. And, we'll get into the vendor side in a minute, but, one of the best things, the coolest things about these product reviews is again, we've got thousands of suggestions or roadmap suggestions for the vendors, from the channel saying, if I'm, cloud backup, and vendor XYZ, I want you to integrate with this other vendor ABC over here, or do you have multi-factor, or there's just so many suggestions. That's been the great thing about
Yeah.
having, Jacques on our team now. He's data scientist extraordinaire, I'll call him. And he's really, just in the first couple of weeks he's been with us, it's been amazing to see just some of the insights that we're able to pull out of the product reviews. But yeah, this is, again, the spirit of democratization and all that. These are, you can go up and read all the product reviews. These are MSP validated product reviews, yeah, so that's where that scoring comes into play. So if you're looking at your stack, and as we progress, we'll get into benchmarking. We'll show you kind of how stacks stack up, versus again, competitors down the street or across the country. You can see, really the strength of your overall stack, not only just as gaps, but the strength of your stack. So that's why these scores are just ridiculously valuable, because it not only helps you make better decisions, but it also helps the vendor make better decisions about the quality of the
Right.
products. And then, yeah. And
What vendor doesn't want to look into the glass ball? I feel like we spend so much time and energy thinking about what does the MSP want? Well, we can tell you. We asked them. It's right there.
yeah, some of the questions on these product reviews, they relate to the vendor, they relate to the usability and the strength of their product, but it also relates to the strength of their channel program. We are a channel
Right.
program after all, right? And we're asking what elements of the channel program, are strong, right? Do they provide the right level of enablement? Do they have a channel manager? Do they provide MDF? That kind of stuff. This is why this is purpose built for this industry, because it's the questions and the data that's going to help both sides of the marketplace make better decisions. So yes, you're spot on as usual.
Yes. Well, before we move on to the vendor side of this, Batman has come up with the follow-up question that is the $1 million question. So why don't we get into what does the MSP pay for all of this service?
Well, yeah, we wanted to make this a free and open ecosystem. So the MSP pays nothing. It's a free platform. And it's funny if you say free. We're not going to do a freemium to premium model, and we're not going to go down the Facebook path and exploit or sell your data. This is really about the privacy, protecting the privacy of the MSP, the IT service provider. We put you in control. So if you want to engage with a vendor, you engage with the vendor. We can surface some suggestions, in the platform based on the vendors that are participating, with the portal. But that's really the extent of it. This is a free resource, and we're supported by the vendors that sign up and participate with the PRM or the portal. And so I don't know, maybe it's our way of kind of giving back to the industry, and again having the vendors step up and really doing a better job of supporting the channel. So the short answer is it is free for MSPs to join, use NaviStack. I will note that if you are inclined to do a product review, we do incentivize a product review, and we pay $15 for each product review. So feel free. I think, as Matt likes to say, it's win Kevin's money with the product reviews. So feel free to go in and as you're adding vendors to your stack, go in and do 3, 4, 5, 6 product reviews and tell your peers how you feel about those solutions. Again, it's great data for your peers, but it's also great data for the vendor themselves. I just say, I was talking about the vendor scale. As you scale, it becomes harder to manage the channel. One of the hardest things is to aggregate all those key insights that we're getting from the product reviews. And so that's something we allow the vendor to do, is aggregate all those suggestions on roadmap suggestions. We aggregate them in one spot, and it makes it easier for the vendor to go back to their development team and say, hey, look, we've had all these suggestions and it's centralized, and now you have something to, from, called an advisory product council in a sense. We've got suggestions from our customers on what to build next, and you can prioritize those. So a lot of really cool things that we can do with this data to help both sides of the marketplace.
Awesome. And I know that there is a partner-specific webinar tomorrow for our existing partners who want to learn more about how to take advantage of NaviStack. But as a bit of a preview, do you want to talk a little bit about what the vendor gets out of this NaviStack experience?
I will. And I'm switching to the Edge browser here, which is not my favorite. I had these preloaded, but there we go. Yes. So very similar. As the vendor logs in, they can log in and they can start to seeing their engagement with their documents, with the materials and chat within the program, within the platform. So they can see high-level metrics, what's going on within their channel, right? They can also very easily interact and engage with their channel, right? So if you want to reach out to your partners, right, you can do it in here. You can click on, chat with one of your partners. So again, chat, you select who you want to chat with at the organization. And again, don't worry if they're not logged in. They're going to get an email 5 minutes saying, hey, your vendor wants to chat with you. Maybe you just put in a new enablement document. You have a new product announcement that you want to announce to your channel. You can chat with them individually, and I think maybe in the next sprint or the sprint after, you'll be able to broadcast message to everybody in your channel. So, but yeah, very easy way to engage or interact with your channel here. I think, it's again, trying to make it, very, very simple. That experience is, I showed you experience when the MSP logs in and they want to grab a document. This, again, standardized look and feel. This is what the vendor sees when they log in. If they want to add content into their portal, they can do it here. All you have to do is click on edit page, add new material, brandable content, select what section you want to put it in. You can put tags. You can, for us, we have an option. We can show, vendors, because we have a PRM built for the vendors. We have one built for MSPs. Then you can select the destination. And then what's cool is that your channel, all of your channel partners will get an announcement, a notification saying, channel program just put a new how to sell security document into the platform. Log in and interact. And I think it goes back to another earlier comment I mentioned, is that the kind of dirty little secret in the whole PRM world, the partner portal world, is that the vendor ends up spending $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 in customizing their portals, only to get a 10 or 15% utilization rate because of that one, that very issue, right? That the MSPs, logging into multiple products or platforms. The way we've structured this is that this is a homepage for the MSP. And so, by design, the utilization is going to go up significantly. It's not just, when channel program puts an alert in, but, maybe the MSP's backup vendor puts a new piece of documentation in the platform today. Maybe tomorrow their multi-factor vendor puts a new webinar into the platform. The MSP is constantly reminded to log into the platform. And so naturally the utilization rate goes up for every vendor participating on the platform, because again, this is a homepage destination for every persona within the MSP. And so that, I think that's a very important thing to note, is that again, I've been on the vendor side, and I've spent the $50,000 initial licensing fee, and then the $200,000 customizing workflows and all the complexities. So I've been on that side and know how woeful the utilization rates can be. And even again, we were the hottest vendor in the marketplace. We still struggled with communicating with our channel. And so we've designed this in a way where it just makes it easier for you to communicate with the channel, because they're in the platform and they're constantly driven to the platform. And so, and the vendor experience, again, very simplistic. We've got some really cool dashboarding coming. We have some upvoting, downvoting coming into the platform. And again, we just we want to make this simple and effective for both sides of the marketplace.
Excellent. Well, I know that we're coming to the end of our time together. I do have one more question from our dear friend Batman about sharing stacks. Is that a functionality that we have, or is going to be roadmap perhaps?
So sharing stacks, I'd have to understand a little bit more about the idea of sharing a stack would be. You can certainly share the stack internally. So I guess I'm not exactly sure of the question, but yeah, this is it's definitely shareable internally. If you want to show it to somebody else, that's up to you. But the whole platform is built around privacy, so we're not going to go out there and share all of your vitals. We want this to be a protected private home for you as an MSP.
And I think it's important to note that new features roll out every 2 weeks. So if there is a functionality that you feel like you need or is missing, reach out. We love hearing the suggestions, because, we're constantly building what's needed for the industry.
Yeah. So there's some more. Get Ray, got some others jumping up there with questions. Sorry, I couldn't see the questions from my sharing my screen, but yeah, look, I mean, this is what we've been working on. I've said it, I don't know how many times on this broadcast, but it's about reducing the friction. It's about reducing the complexity. It's about listening to the MSPs and understanding what's important to them. Again, having been on both sides of the marketplace, I guess maybe all three sides, maybe the fourth side, in investing in companies as well. But I've seen the friction, I've seen the fragmentation, right? And this is, I think, just a great step forward. We're proud to be able to be the ones that have kind of cracked the nut. It's one of the comments we hear all the time is like, man, I was thinking about this, or I wanted to do this 4 or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And so, we will lean into this. And I'm just seeing Ray's message here. So share my stack. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely export, be able to export and share kind of what your stack looks like. But I think, along that stack, maybe sharing or comparison, as we get the critical mass here over the next couple of weeks, we'll start to be able to benchmark. Again, I mentioned that early on, and we can say, look, if you're a $2 million MSP with 1,000 endpoints or 2,000 endpoints, what have you, whatever the metric is, we can compare you in an anonymized way, but we can show you how you stack up against others in the space. And so, maybe their stack is 50 different technologies. So we'll do a lot with grouping and segmentation. we want to again help you make the right decisions. And then there's a lot of pricing data and stuff behind the scenes as well that we'll be leaning into as well, again to help the industry make better decisions, help MSPs understand how their price points and how their stack, how their margins or EBITDA, all that stuff adds up. So those are things that are roadmapped here for the next couple of months. And so we just got up a roadmap call earlier, Matt, myself, with Chris. I think we are at like 253 different items on the roadmap. So we're gonna be even busier coming up.
And Matt, the host with the most, who could not join us today, has let me know in the backstage area that employees within the same organization will have the same stack. So that is on there to go to the previous questions. But before we close this out today, Kevin, where can people learn more and get started?
Easiest thing is just to hop over to channelprogram.com and top right-hand side, you can either log in or you can register. Registering takes all of 30 seconds. Email address, you can authenticate via your cell or an email, and you'll be up and running in a matter of minutes. Literally, we've made this. Was the Geico commercial so easy a caveman could do it? I mean, we've made it that easy.
Definitely. Any other parting words?
No, I just appreciate everybody tuning in, and this is the start of something massive for this industry. And I again appreciate everybody that has stuck with us along for the ride. This is the start of something really, really big for this industry. And if you've got comments, suggestions, my email is just Kevin@channelprogram. Email me, sign up, whatever you need. Whatever you need, we're there to help. And it is so easy. A Batman can do it. You are absolutely correct, Ray. So, well played. Well played.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. Until next time, that's Channel Program out. Have a good one, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.